What's going on, guys? This is Steve with the MrBigKid Uncut channel. I have two 2-inch ribeyes, or big thick steaks. This is my absolute favorite way to cook a steak, especially a thick steak, and that's gonna be reverse searing. We're gonna be using the Pit Boss Laredo 1000 to reverse sear these 2-inch steaks. Basically, the process is we're gonna stick a temp probe inside the steak, and we're gonna set the grill on low at 225. We're gonna wait until that internal temperature of the steak gets up to about 120, 123. We're gonna pull the steaks off. We're gonna open up the flame guard on the grill, and then we're gonna let that thing get hot. We're gonna let a flame come through those grates, and then we're gonna sear each side of those steaks about a minute on each side. And that should give us a perfect medium rare to medium steak, which is the way my family likes to eat it. So let's get started. Let's season these things up and then get the grill fired up. Two very simple ingredients for the rub that we're putting on these steaks today: kosher, coarse, and fresh ground salt, and fresh ground white pepper. We buy these white peppercorns, put them in a grinder, and then fresh grind them. The flavor of white pepper is absolutely amazing if you use it properly. So go ahead and put a nice thick layer of salt and pepper on all sides of the steak, and even the sides, get it completely covered and seasoned. Between the heat and the fat melting, a lot of that salt and pepper is going to melt away. You want to make sure to get a nice heavy amount on there. All right, so now that we got these things all seasoned up with some salt and white pepper, we're going to throw these on the grill. So I'm actually going to put these steaks off to the side. I don't want them cooking over that fire pot because there is more of a heat over the center of this area. This is where the flame pot is, and here's a door. So we're going to make sure that this door is actually shut while we're cooking these to get to that first initial 120 to 124 temp. I'm gonna cook these things till about 123 because we like them a little more cooked than rare or medium rare. So I have two temp probes I'll be using. These come with the Laredo 1000. And I'm gonna put them right in the center through the fat cap, and I'm gonna get right to the center of that cut with the tip sticking right in that cut. This one, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm actually gonna flip it around and we'll go right into the middle there. There we go. And that should be it. Now we're gonna play the waiting game. The current time is 3:25, so let's see how long these things take to get to the initial temperature set point. All right, so the first one has an internal temp at 125. That's gonna be this smaller one right here. So I'm gonna pull the probe out. It's not too high yet, so you can actually handle it with your hands. That's the first one, so stage one's done. This guy's gotta go a little bit longer, so we're gonna let that cook for a little longer. And in the meantime, I have a loaf of French bread right here. I'm gonna start getting this thing warmed up and just stick it in the back. So it's 4:15 and I just pulled the second steak off. So I'm gonna set this thing to high. I'm gonna try to get some flame out of this thing, and then we're gonna sear those steaks on each side for about a minute. Then we should be good to go. We'll let it rest for a while too. All right, so we got some pretty good heat and flame on this thing, so let's throw these steaks on. First thing I always do, you put it on fat cap first. That fat cap you want to render, it's gonna make a big difference. Here we go. Makes it nice and crispy. I think that's about it. Nice and crispy on all sides. These steaks look like they have an awesome char to them. Look at that color. Nice and crispy. Look at this big guy right down here. So we're gonna let these rest for about 5-10 minutes, and then we'll cut into them. Let's take one of these guys and cut her open. One thing I like to do is cut it in slices and find that grain, find the way the grain is going, and then cut against the grain. That really helps with tenderness, believe it or not. These are a perfect medium, nice and pink in the middle. These look amazing. Go. We got some fat pieces that you can kind of trim around. I'm not going to waste it for sure. I won't eat the fat, nobody will, but there is some usable meat in there. All right, for my last finishing touch, when you have everything all organized on the plate, add some salt crystals, just a little bit. So as usual, a lot of times when I do cooking videos, towards the end of the cook, I just kind of cut things off and like we're done with the video. But I figure I kind of owe it to you guys to kind of explain the end of my video for you guys. So of course, I brought it inside, sliced it all up, added the salt crystals, a little salt pop on everything, and it came out great. Delicious, tender, a little smoky from the slow part of the cook and everything, and crispy on the outside. Now the reason I love doing a reverse sear is because it allows a thick steak to be cooked consistently. Now, if you take a really thick steak and you just throw it on the grill, on a hot grill, start searing it right away, what happens is you're gonna overcook the outside to be able to get to the inside to cook it. So if you cook it slowly, you slowly bring the entire steak up to a manageable temperature, 120 to 123, 124, whatever you guys want. And then from there, you can do a hot sear on the outside, and you do a 1-minute sear on every side, including the sides, like the fat cap and everything on the steaks. You're gonna pretty much nail that medium to medium rare cook. And that's the way we like it. We like it nice and pink in the middle. We just don't like a mushy, like raw steak or rare steak. So reverse searing gives you the opportunity to have a nice crispy steak that isn't overcooked, that still has the inside of the steak consistently cooked. So overall, excellent cook. It's really rare that I actually mess up a reverse seared steak. It kind of comes down to a science. So hope you all like this video. Please hit that subscribe button if you did, and leave a thumbs up and leave a comment below. I really appreciate it. If you guys like the pew pew stuff, go check out my big channel, MrBigKid. Otherwise, if you guys like the barbecue, family vlogs, adventures, MrBigKid Uncut is the place to be. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you guys later.